La 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 la, yeah. Your smile's always shining out, and they know what it's all about. It's not hard for them to figure out the way you show Jesus.
I've always had a love for working with children, and so my mother was a Sunday school teacher, and I kind of worked with her growing up as a young lady, and I always wanted to do the same thing when I got older. In fact, it was my mother's wish that I be a public school teacher, and I fulfilled that wish. Then I desired to continue the work that she started in the churches that we attended, and so as she gave up teaching the Sunday school class, I took over.
I've been teaching ever since my oldest child, which is now in her 60s, when she went to Sunday school. When I started taking her to Sunday school, the Sunday school teacher asked me to help teach, and somehow that seemed to be my gift. But for my ministry as a Christian school teacher, as I was attending Bible college, I realized that truth and error, they march so close together. And I wanted to teach truth, and I wanted to teach it to children. I wanted to begin to build that truth in them at a very early age. And so I prepared to be a Christian school teacher. I never wanted to teach in the secular schools. I wanted to teach in a Christian school because I wanted the freedom to teach the truth of God's Word.
I worked with this little boy, and he is a quick learner, so he said the verse for Mrs. Harris. We always say the verse after Sunday lesson. We go over and say the memory verse. And he went over and he knew the verse, and he did such a good job. And then Mrs. Harris offered him a chance to pick a treat out of the basket. And he looked in the basket and he saw some things that he liked. And then he looked at her and he asked her, "Can I get two?" And so she wanted to know, well, why do you need two? He says, well, I want one for me and I want one for my teacher. And so Mrs. Harris and I both thought that was so nice of him that he wanted to share his snack with his teacher that Sunday. And it really made me feel good too.
Our Awana program last year, and the fact that Pastor Gomes brought the children from the neighborhood, and I saw myself in those children. I grew up in a home. My father was not a Christian, but somebody came and took me to church. And as I saw Pastor Gomes picking up those children and bringing them here, it reminded me that one day somebody picked me up and brought me to church.
I'd like to see more young people hear the word, hear the good news, and learn this plan of salvation so that they can come to know the Lord while they're young and not wait until they get old to be saved. And I just want the Sunday school and our Awana program and all our youth ministries to have exciting programs that will draw the children in and keep them coming.
My desire for those children who came to our Awana program and from the neighborhood, that would just be the beginning of a life. Because at an early age, I was able to be connected to the church, to the people of God. I knew about the church, I knew about God, and I knew about God's people. And if those children who came to our Awana program, they never come back again, I want them to have memories of a church, of God's people, and the things that we try to teach them from God's Word.
The way you show him, I gotta tell you that I'm back in the way.